Warrior Toolbox is always an interesting concept just to see how many of the busted equip cards can actually do their job. And is that a Monarch deck? Yeah, it is. 30% of you that have not smashed, just smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys can stay up to date with the good stuff here. So the first one we're going to be looking at here is a Warrior Toolbox deck that tore through its tournament. Now, what's very interesting about this is you don't see a lot of the old gimmicky sold OTK decks. Now, whether or not, this is just kind of like a one-off, I definitely caught me off guard here, because I was like, there's a lot going on here. You have access to Shadow Mist, to make, Dark Law. You can make, all your big, powerful synchros. There's a lot here, and I really do mean that. Like, can even do pendulum scale shenanigans. This is by far like the pinnacle of like cool decks. So we have triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring. We have one copy of Shadow Mist with one Stratman. We have two copies of the Fire Flint Lady with one Gamma Seal. We have one copy of the Ignis Phoenix, the Draco Slayer. One copy of the Immortal Phoenix Gearfried. We have one Renauld with one Majesty Pegasus. We have triple copies of Neospace Connector. We have one Aqua Dolphin with one Deer Note. We have one Foxy Toon with one Zia Min. We have one copy of the Squeak Knight with triple copies of the Sublimation Knight. We have one copy of Ignite Crusader. We have two Durandals. We also have triple copies of the mighty Hero Lives. We have one copy of Called by the Grave, triple copies of Emergency Teleport. We have one Waterfront, one Living Fossil with one Mass Change. We also have one Rhoda and triple copies of Infinite Permanence here. Down in the extra deck, we got one Saruja with one Unicorn, two Isolde with one IP. We also have one Beyond the Pendulum, one Apollosa with one Access Code, one Zeus, one Dweller. Then we have one Punk Amazing Dragon, one Draco Berserker, one Borreload Savage, one Baron, and one Dark Law. Then our side deck here is two Effect Veiler, triple Space Rock, triple Cosmic Cyclone, one Dimensional Fissure, one Appointer, two Skill Drain, and triple copies of Solemn Judgment here, wrapping up our Hero Toolbox. Okay. Next up here is Monarchs. Now, I love seeing the evolution and things that people can really kind of pull out here with Monarchs. All right, like this deck is, yeah, it's been stripped from its former glory days for sure, but it is always so very interesting to see the ideas and things that people are pulling out here, and Ogre actually kind of showing up with this is actually kind of cool. Just getting the ability to have some pseudo deck ripping, kind of interesting little mechanic here. But maybe I feel like maybe Fenrir would have been a little bit better, or one of the other power cards, but I do see what they were trying to do with playing this. So we have triple copies of the Little Fluctolite, as we're going to call this. This very much reminds me of SAO. This is going to be some additional toggle power for the deck. We have one copy of Jerusalem. We have triple copies of Magna Hut with one Tsuchinoko. We have triple copies of Aether, the Heavenly Monarch, with triple copies of Erebus, the Underworld Monarch. We have triple copies of the Ogre. We have one copy of Karaz. Do keep in mind that Karaz's numbers have been dramatically reduced. All right, like very, very, very important. All right. We also have one copy of Majesty Stream, triple copies of Mithra, one copy of the Luminous Lunar Dragon, one Called by the Grave, triple copies of Domain, triple copies of Pantheism, one Return, triple Small World, triple Tenacity, triple the Monarch Stormforce with one Erupt, and one copy of the true power of the Monarchs here. And then down here, we have no extra deck, no real need for any of that. All right. We also have triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, two copies of Snoraneer, one Vanity Scene, one Change of Heart. We have one copy of Harvey Sothodusser, triple Raigeki, triple Twin Twisters, and one copy of the Preparations here, wrapping up your good stuff. I'm glad to see that we at least have a trap that we can pull here if need be. Next up here is the power of just Virtual World, actually. When was the last time, be honest with me, that you remember seeing Virtual World actually do something that actually was relevant? And the answer is, it's been quite some time. Honestly, I think that this deck suffers from a lot of the big issues in the metagame, where it needs to have a lower ceiling in order to do its thing. So when this deck shows up, I'm always like, well, is it the Dragoon version? Is it, what are we doing here? And it looks like playing nothing? Well, okay, sure. So we have one copy of Jerusalem with 2 copies of Magna Hut. We have 2 copies of Droll and Lockbird with triple copies of Fenrir. We have 2 copies of Yan. We have triple copies of Lili with triple copies of Lulu. We have triple copies of Lalo, and then we have triple copies of Gigi. We have 1 copy of Called by the Grave, triple copies of Emergency Teleport. We have triple copies of Pot of Prosperity, and then we have triple copies of Kowloon here, along with triple copies of Qinglong, 2 copies of Infinite Permanence, 2 Chuche, and 1 copy of the Zuan Wu, wrapping up your main deck. Then in the next deck, we have 1 Willow with 1 Jaja, 1 copy of Fan with 1 Gaia Dragon. We have 1 Zeus with 1 M7. We have 1 Stenshin with 1 Ultimaya Tzolk'in. We have 1 Stardust Charge with 1 Crystalline. We have 1 Coral Dragon with 1 Brionic, 1 Nathong with 1 Baron, and 1 copy of Catastor. Our side deck here is 1 Magna Hut, 1 Droll and Lockbird with 2 Ghost Bell. We also have access to 1 Change of Heart, triple copies of Lightning Storm, your triple talents, triple evenly matched, and 1 copy of Infinite Permanence here, wrapping up your main deck. Not a lot else to really say about this. My brain's just kind of processing the fact that we actually have a working virtual world list out here that actually found success, and that's actually very nice to see. Next up here was an agent deck. Now the only reason why I'm covering agents is after the loss of our dear friend, Halki Fibrax, this deck has been in a corner weeping, all right? And you don't see a lot of players out here looking at taking agents to any sort of events anytime soon. And I think that it's very important to kind of show what this deck is doing, show some of the generalized progress that players are coming to here with this. So this is actually kind of what the last decent list I've seen. So we have 2 copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring. We have 1 copy of Buten. Yeah, you still care about this. We have triple copies of Diviner of the Herald, 2 copies of Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion, triple copies of Guardian Iatos. Yup, we're doing this. We have 1 copy of Hyperion, 1 Master Hyperion, triple copies of Venus, 1 copy of the Agent of Destruction Venus. We have triple copies of the Agent of Life Neptune, triple copies of Earth, 1 copy of Therese Herakri. We have triple Shine Ball with 1 Called by the Grave. We have 1 Instant Fusion, triple copies of Pot of Prosperity. We have triple copies of Ready Fusion, triple copies of the Sacred Waters in the Sky, triple copies of Triple Tactics Talents, 1 copy of the Fallen Sanctuary, and triple copies of Infinite Permanence here, wrapping up your main deck. Down here in the next deck, we have 1 Sprint with 1 Elf, 1 Almirage with 1 Protection of the Agent's Moon. We have 1 Link Spider with 1 Nightmare Unicorn, 1 IP with 1 copy of the Celestial Night Lord Parshath, 1 Appa with 1 Access Code. We have 1 copy of Gigantic, 1 Master Hyperion with 1 Baron. We have 1 Anitis, and 1 copy of the Alvine, the Essence of Vanity. And we've got triple copies of Dark Ruler, triple copies of Forbidden Droplet, triple copies of Lightning Storm, triple copies of Dimensional Barrier, triple copies of Evenly Matched here, wrapping up the good stuff. Man, I'm so happy to see Guardian Iatos actually seeing a place out here. That is so beautiful. I love it. And the last list we have here is a Sprite list. Now, the only reason why I'm including this was the Duelist reached out and said, hey, he's like, I would really love if you talk about my list. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of craziness to really talk about when it comes to Sprite, but I figured we'd go ahead and cover it in a video just to kind of showcase, for a few people that are like, what's a more generic Sprite list at the moment? Well, this should give you a little bit of an idea as to kind of what's going on with this. So we have triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, triple copies of Druisworm with triple copies of Magna Hut. We have 1 copy of Snoraneer. We have 1 Doop Doop, 2 copies of Nimble Angler, triple copies of the Nimble Beaver with triple copies of Sprite the Blue. We have 1 Sprite Carrot with triple copies of Sprite Jet. We have 2 copies of Sprite Red, 2 copies of Swap Frog with 1 Called by the Grave. We have triple Pot of Prosperity with 1 Smashers, triple copies of Sprite Starter, 2 copies of Talents, and triple copies of Infinite Permanence here. Wrapping up your main deck. Down the next deck, you got 1 Sprint, 2 Elf with 1 Avermax, 1 IP, 1 copy of Dahark with 1 copy of the Virus Swordsman. We have 1 Totally Awesome with 1 Onimaru, 1 copy of the Mosquito, 2 Gigantic Sprite with 1 Downard, 1 Zeus, and 1 Locat Shark. And then we got triple Dimension Shifter, 1 Red Resonator with 1 Change of Heart, 2 copies of Dark Roller, 2 Dimensional Barrier, 2 Eradicator, triple Evenly Matched, and 1 copy of Trap Trick here, wrapping up really all of the good stuff here. And that actually, definitely pleases me to see how all of these decks have kind of come together here. All of the diversity that's really present in this format. So what do you guys think about all these cool decks? Please leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I will see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Peace out. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.